What do you do when there's little annoyances in life? Well, if you're like our guest today, Colleen Landry, you start a second career in your 60s as a comedian. Now, Colleen was a school teacher for 30 years. She's a published author, and she is a sensation on social media and such a lovely interview. Now, before we dive in, I'd like to thank our Girls Talk Healthy Aging listener, Leona Cook. Thanks for listening. Now let's dive in.
Welcome to the Girls Talk Healthy Aging podcast, where we dive deep into pressing health and fitness issues facing aging women. I'm Allie Kerr.
And I'm Shauna Kaminsky. And together we'll bring candid conversations, expert advice, and personal stories that will inspire and empower you on your own wellness journey. Colleen, we are so happy to have you on the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, my theory is the answer is always no unless you ask. And I have been enjoying your content on Instagram for a very long time. And I think you had responded to a comment I made when someone stole your identity.
Oh, tell me about that.
Yeah. And then and then you answered me and I thought, hey, I've got her attention. I'm just going to ask if she'll be on the podcast. And lo and behold, here we are.
Well, I agree. It's always, it's a yes until it's a no. And I'm always flattered to be asked. And I was so happy that, some of my followers came to bat for me when someone stole my identity and was sharing those lewd photos. My gosh. I'm a porn star now.
Shauna's had some of that happen to her. I think it was on your Facebook page.
And it's so annoying, but it's not flattering. But I think it might be bots now that does it.
You're probably right. It was Facebook for me too. So
yeah.
Anyway, we have to stick together.
Yes.
Against the bots.
And my thought was like, Colleen, you're going to get some great content from that. And I've yet to see it. So
you're right. I'll be using it in stand-up. I'm going to try stand-up this Thursday, and we'll talk about my history in comedy, and I'll lead up to that. But yeah, I am going to bring it in. I kind of wanted to, stay safe on Instagram because it was so vile. But yeah, not seeing it circulate as much now. So I'm hoping it's just let sleeping dogs lie.
Now, for our listeners that may not know what we're talking about, so because I know that Shauna's had this happen, so I'm taking it someone took over your account and posted things that were very inappropriate.
Yes, on Facebook. They used my Instagram handle and picture and were spreading, very inappropriate images. And no matter how many times I reported it, nothing happened. So I think it just goes away. I don't know.
Yeah, mine just went away over time. Mine was mostly terrorist stuff, which is terrible too.
You had some like porn kind of stuff on yours too, Sean.
Oh my gosh! And you would think
I didn't even see it all. So I guess porn too. I guess I'm into it all.
I guess you've made
I didn't know that side of you, Shauna.
Yeah. But, you would assume people would understand it's not you, but I think it's the shock value. And when they see this attached to your picture, they just unfollow or send a message and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're sharing those. I'm like, I'm not.
It's
unsettling.
Hopefully you can find the humor in it, as you've done with so many of life's, little annoyances. And when I reached out to you, I said, humor is a big part of healthy aging. And that's why I thought it would be great to have you on. But tell us a little bit about how you got into comedy.
Well, I've always liked making people laugh. And I've been more of a humor writer than a comedian. I've always written humor columns and essays about family life, like Irma Bombeck's Slice of Life. We're the same era, right? And so that's always where I imagine myself going. And about probably 7 years now, Nikki Payne, who is a Canadian comedian, moved back to this part of Canada. and she was putting together a stand-up comedy class for women only. And when I heard that, I thought, that sounds like something I have to do. So it was an 8-week course. I met some great friends, and at the end we had to do a show, and it went quite well. So I kind of got the bug. And the city I live in is quite small. So at the time there was one stand-up club in town. It closed after COVID, unfortunately, but a handful of times I would try my hand at it there. And then when the club folded, I sort of went away from it. But I'm going to try it again this week, see how it goes. So it all kind of led me to that. Also, during COVID, I noticed a lot of people were posting comedy content about COVID. And I did some videos on Facebook about how to accessorize our pajamas, since we were never leaving the house and we were in our pajamas. So that got some pretty good feedback. And I guess that planted a seed and gave me confidence. And then I didn't do anything for a couple of years. And as retirement was coming up, I retired a year ago, I was trying to think of how, to fill my days and do something that I really enjoyed. And I had been posting comedy videos on Instagram and TikTok for, I don't know, I'd say off and on for a couple of years, but never got anywhere with it. I think I had 700 followers, and it took probably a year to get them. I'd get nice comments, but no traction. And I was about to give up. And then I made a promise to myself about 6 months before retirement. I'm just going to post every single day and see what happens. And then around April or May of that year, so I'd say 4 months later, I really was close to just saying, I'll find something else. This isn't working. And I came downstairs one morning and I saw a baseball cap, a balled up sock, and I think a guitar string on one of the new coffee tables that I had just bought. And I am kind of obsessed with home decor, and I watch HGTV. Do you get that? Love It or List It and all those shows. So I kind of knew the lingo. And so I did a tongue-in-cheek video about how the blue ball cap grounded the space and softened and added a point of interest, and so on and so on. I mean, I still had my robe on, no makeup, but I honestly thought, nobody sees these. And I just put my phone away, and I just started hearing this dinging. I'd never heard it before because I never got more than 4 or 5 likes. And my phone went crazy. I wouldn't say it went viral, like a million. It eventually did get several million views, but it took off on both TikTok and Instagram. So I thought, wow, I saw my followers go up 1,000, 2,000. It was incredible. So I just kept posting those interior design. Look how lovely this is that my husband left me. So at first I was calling him my husband, and then people seem to be enjoying them. So I thought I'll call him my in-house interior designer. And I did that for a while. And then during one video, I pretended to slip up and I said my inferior designer, and people really liked it. So that's how that all came to be. So for about a year, I've been posting pretty much every day. And it's just been amazing. The response has been so cool.
Yeah. And that's how I found you. And then I think because everything is so relatable, it just gets shared.
I guess so. I mean, the algorithm is working for me, but it really showed me that it is the little annoyances. It's not the big things. I've always said that in the positive and the negative. I really think you don't need a lot of positivity to change things, or grand gestures. I think just little gestures can make a difference to move things forward. And I also think it's the little annoyances that can put us over the edge.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised, well, sort of surprised. I mean, it's the thing my girlfriends and I talk about. So I guess that's the relatable part. I thought, well, if we're feeling this way, there must be other people. And lo and behold, Women were sending me pictures of things their inferior designer left and, making a commentary of it. So I think it is just the little daily annoyances that we need to come together and sort of gripe about in a funny way. It's
Yeah,
purging.
and find the humor. And I think one of the biggest messages there is just don't give up on something that you enjoy. Like you were probably just on the cusp.
I honestly was. And I think that is the message. I'm 60. I've had a full teaching career, raised 2 kids. And it's partly about admitting that you want something that's kind of ludicrous. Do you know what I mean? The voice in me of reason would say, oh, for heaven's sakes, you're 60. What are you going to do?
Yeah, you're
Go
going to
across
become
the
a
country
stand-up
and
comedian now? Like
right,
that
I'm
is
going to go
ridiculous.
around town. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah, the
told
voices in
myself.
your head.
And the other thing is, I'm not joking, I am far too lazy and tired to go the traditional stand-up route. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to drive around at this point at comedy shows that start at 9. I'm like waking up from my second night sweat at 9 o'clock. That won't work for me. So when I saw how things could happen on social media, I thought, wow, that levels the playing field for everybody. It doesn't matter where you live, how old you are.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit of time and you put something out there that people like, things can happen.
We're going to interrupt this interview for just a second because we've got something we want to make sure that you know.
If you're struggling with your health, with your fitness, if you don't know where to start or you know what to do and you're not doing it, we're here for you.
And all you need to do to get our help is to reach out to Shauna and I at our email, sapodcast23@gmail.com. And we're happy to help and we will be in touch. Now back to the show.
Yeah.
But I always thought, you have to do it the traditional way. You have to grind it out and go to comedy clubs and be seen and live in a big city. So in my mind, that was just never a possibility, I guess,
Yeah.
which is why I focus more on the writing because I can do that from anywhere. But social media just, it makes it possible.
Yeah, it's open doors. So now, did you start out on TikTok or Instagram? Which one of those has been more
Instagram. Instagram has been better. Yeah, because the COVID things were on Facebook, and then I don't share on Facebook. I guess it's just family and friends, and I wanted to put it out into the world and have people follow me not because they were my cousin but just because to find my tribe, I guess. And that's what it does for you. It really says, hey, you'd like this, you'd like this. So I would say Instagram has been more consistently, my numbers go up consistently. I have engagement consistently. I post the same thing on both. And I like TikTok as well, but Instagram seems to be more consistent, I would say.
Yeah. And how do you feel about like doing the stand up? Because, being on video is quite different than being in front of people. It's really a different game.
It really is. And once I started doing this in my mind, I said, that's it. I probably won't do stand up. It's much harder, much more nerve wracking. But over the past few months, people have reached out for me to do keynotes, comedic keynotes. So I said yes, and I've done 2 of them. And the opportunity came up to do 5 minutes of stand up. So I just thought, if I can do that for an hour in front of people, maybe 5 minutes won't be so bad, but I'm out of practice. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not really sure what my motivation is, except that, the teacher who did our stand-up course is performing and some of my friends are.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm also just trying to say yes. Trying to just do things that are a little bit scary. It's much more comfortable to do a video here at my kitchen island than drive to a club and, not know anybody and not be sure how it's going to go. But I kind of figure it's all gravy at this point and I've got nothing to lose except followers if I really bomb, which I might.
Yeah, but you know what? This is the best attitude to
Mhm.
have, because then if you think I have nothing to lose, you can probably do a better job.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
hoping. And I will be honest and say that this Instagram and TikTok has certainly built my confidence. It's certainly, it makes me feel like, ugh, even if it doesn't go great, I still have my community the next day and I'll post something and feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just thinking, try it, see if it feels differently now, and see if I want to do more of it. And I do have followers who say, will you ever do stand up? Would you ever come to our city? And so I'm just not ruling anything out. I really don't know where any of it will go.
You
What's
know,
one of the
it's interesting.
funniest?
We had Dr. Kelly Burnite on. We released her episode last week, and it's all about aging
Yeah.
joyfully. And this, to me, your story is all about finding something you love and then just pushing the boundaries of it. And
Yeah, that's
you can always say no, but you're open to opportunity.
right. That's what I'm trying. And I have to say, a lot of time my initial reaction is no. You get it to a certain age and you don't want to put yourself out there. Um, But I mean, I don't mind doing it on videos. That's easy for me. But you're right. I think aging joyfully is finding what's in your heart, what you really loved as a kid, what really defines you beyond your obligations to your kids and your job and all of that. So I guess I'm just at a point where I figure, yeah, I'll just push the boundaries within reason. I'm still a bit of a scaredy cat, but I think I can do this. And yeah, they say that you grow when you're a little bit uncomfortable,
Sure.
but I
Yeah.
prefer being comfortable. Like I think we all do. It's not
Yes.
like I'm going to do an hour of stand up. That would be terrifying, but I'll do a little bit.
Well, I mean, when you consider that the most people's number one fear is public speaking, and you are not only public speaking, you are doing comedy, which is another
Oh.
level of. I'm not trying to scare you here.
No, yeah, it's maybe a bit delusional, probably a little
No,
bit. I
not
think
at
so.
all.
But if it's sort of in your wheelhouse
Yeah,
and there's a little calling in you,
yeah.
then I think you owe it to yourself to try a little bit. It's just I've always been sort of a ham and liked attention, so
Yeah, I
it's
can imagine you were a school teacher for how many years?
well 30 overall in various capacities. Um, Towards the end of my career, I actually taught on in an online environment, high school writing mainly in English. And but yeah, my the beginning of my career was more elementary school. So yeah, you have to kind of be sort of a performer to
Yeah,
be a teacher.
and I'm sure your students, especially the high school students, would probably appreciate your humor more than the little ones. I taught elementary
Did
in
you?
another career. I was a
Oh,
20-year teacher, but
wow. I liked elementary. I
the
mean,
whole humor, you need
and
it.
kids love it too. I mean, I
Yeah,
I co-authored some books in a children's book series with
I
two
saw
other
that.
teachers. Yeah, and going around to schools and making them laugh and being silly. I mean, it's so easy to make little kids laugh. So I
Yeah,
love that too. Now,
yeah.
my high school career was mainly online, so I really didn't build a relationship with them, but there
Mm.
was, humor writing in the course. So yeah, I enjoyed both, but I'm kind of enjoying this more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And now, how does your family feel? How does the inferior designer
The
and the
inferior
boys feel
I
about this?
know. My interior designer is really supportive. He's loving it. And when it first took off, I said, "Oh, geez, I think I might have just thrown you under the bus. Are you okay with that? I didn't think anybody watched any of this." And he said, "No, it's funny. And obviously you've hit a nerve." And, he's really not a slob and he's very helpful. But I think it's the exaggeration of the little things that kind of
Yeah,
connect us, like just leaving a knife. He
yeah.
does do things like that. And my boys certainly were like that as teenagers. But I think, no, they're getting a kick out of it. My husband's not on social media at all, and my boys very limited. So yeah, they get a kick out of it.
Yeah. And they aren't my fear, the things I do on social media or on the podcast, the last thing you want to do is horrify your family.
I know, I know. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't use their photos or say
Yeah.
their names when I'm doing the pretend calls. It's just a generational joke. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like our age group looks at things a certain way. Our kids are travel more and do those things. So it's really not a personal thing. It's just a generational thing and a boy thing and a mom thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Generally, boys don't text as much as girls or use emojis. And I'm just commenting on those things. So they get it. They're both very funny and have a good
Well,
sense of
and
humor.
mothers of sons, typically their sons they don't text, like, just like you said, they don't text as much. And so all the moms out there can relate.
Yeah, less so, of course. And my kids do text me back. I'm exaggerating on almost
Yeah.
everything. I think people understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to comment on the things that my friends and I talk about, the ones
Yeah.
with daughters maybe get texts every hour with all kinds of details, and it's just different, not better or worse. So
Yeah.
I'm not pointing them out or saying anything personal about
No.
them. Same with
It's
my husband. It's just a comment on marriage, motherhood, generations,
aging.
menopause, all the things that we
Yeah.
talk about. So I don't think no, I would never compromise them. And
No.
if I'm iffy about a video, I'll run it by my husband and say, "You don't think they'd think?" He's like, "No, they don't
Yeah,
even
and he'll
follow
be
you.
fine with it.
They
Yeah.
don't even follow you, probably."
Yeah. And where did you come up with the Brianna
Okay,
from
so that's
Shoppers Drug Mart?
yeah, that kind of came from two things. It is based in truth, as everything is, but vastly exaggerated. During COVID, I did go to Shoppers Drug Mart, which is a drugstore here that we have. You have that
Yeah.
it's Canadian. And I was not looking my best self because selfishly all of the hair salons were closed. Remember that? The shutdowns, and my roots were like
Yeah.
this, and I had no makeup on, probably wearing pajama bottoms at least, because everybody had given up. And I thought that everyone got the memo that it was time
Yeah.
to give up. So I went up to the cash to pay. It was a Thursday. I did not know that Thursday was Senior Citizens Discount Day because I did not know I was a senior citizen in the eyes of that drugstore. But there was a young girl working. Her name wasn't Brianna. And that was kind of a joke on how the spellings of names I'm seeing in my
Have changed.
students, like, no vowels, extra X's,
letters.
just to make it special. So it was kind of a, commentary on that. And I went to pay, and she said, "Excuse me, ma'am, you are eligible for the seniors discount today. It's Thursday." And I said, "Me?" And she said, "Yes." Now, it was only 55. I thought it was like 60 or 65. So I was initially like, wow, she's very confident. She's not asking me to see any identification. She is telling me,
Yeah.
"You are a mess and you need this." So it kind of came from that. She was young, very confident. So I kind of ran with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, lots of your reels are, hilarious beauty tips. And, we are about healthy aging, but what are your best tips, like, for aging healthily, other than maybe just maintaining a sense of humor, because that's what we need?
I think that's a big part of it. I mean, there's not much we can do about age spots and all the rest of it. I really am diligent about sunscreen. I'm not sure it makes much difference. I still dye my hair. But I kind of really believe in the basics. I try to drink a lot of water. I do use SPF, and I exercise every day. I walk a lot, and I do yoga. And sleep, although sleep is not what it used to be, but I do believe in the basics.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
And friends and doing things you like. I think it makes you feel younger, and then hopefully that comes through.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of exude a different energy when you're kind of healthy from the inside out. And
Yeah.
one thing I do like about your videos is that you'll come on without makeup, you'll come on with makeup. Like it takes a certain amount of confidence to be able to do that. How do you feel about that?
Maybe confidence again is the wrong word. Delusional, maybe. I think that comes with aging. Once you get to be 60, I really don't care as much. I mean, we all have the same issues as we get older, so I don't wear a lot of makeup to begin with. And I think people don't really want to see that perfect airbrushed. I hope we're getting away from that. It makes everyone feel like, wow, why can't I look like that? I feel like I'm holding my own, but yeah, I don't mind making a fool of
Yeah.
myself for public
Well,
consumption.
I really like the representation of a healthy 60-year-old because, sometimes I'm speaking for myself, sometimes I look like or feel like an old shoe. And other times I can do my hair and makeup and be like, okay, not so bad. And I think it's important to have both of that
That's a good
represented.
point. That's a good point. Because sometimes I do think, wow, I'm really killing it. And then I'll do another video where the sunlight comes in and catches every age spot and,
Yeah.
crepey wrinkle. And I'll think, what is happening? But I do think that is where we're at. Like, we're
Yeah.
just not going to have that dewy skin probably ever again. And we can't fight that our
And
elasticity is going,
and it's okay.
and it's
That's
okay.
the point.
Right. I love aging. I wouldn't want to be a 30-year-old with perfect skin and, a dollop of collagen. I wouldn't mind a teaspoon of collagen. Just a little tiny bit more would be nice,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't want to be back as much as I've loved every phase of life.
Yeah.
I loved being a parent. I still am, but I liked raising kids and my teaching career. But I think the best is yet to come. So if having a few wrinkles and sunspot is the price we have to pay, I
Yeah.
guess I'm okay with that. I mean, I still try. I
Yes.
still spend too much on serums. I still dye my hair. I can't pretend like I'm
Same.
totally embracing it. And I admire women who do, and I'll get there.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah. And I also think when we compare to a generation or two ago, I think 60 now doesn't look like 60 did
Yeah.
then. So I think we're on the right track, but I don't think we want to look 30. I think it looks unnatural.
Yeah. And that's the problem is we say that age is just a number, but we don't allow ourselves to look that number. Like a part of
Exactly.
ourselves doesn't. And I think the more people that show up representing a healthy, vibrant, in love with life personality at 60, at 65, at 70, like
Right.
the person sees the wrinkles, but the other person sees the vibrant personality.
That's a good point too, because I look at women on social media who are, happy, and they do have wrinkles, but you're right. It doesn't really, I don't think we notice them on others as much as we do ourselves.
Yeah.
I will look at someone and think, wow, she looks amazing. And she
Yeah.
does have crow's feet and,
Well, when you look
sunspots. But
deeper,
yeah,
but otherwise you're seeing the vibrant personality, you're seeing the value that this person has. And
and the happiness or the twinkle in their eye. And I think it makes people look younger,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, or it just puts off a different energy. And I have nothing against anybody that, does any kind of work. Women are the worst often for saying, oh, they've done so much work, that's terrible. Oh, they've done no work, that's terrible. It's like we can't win. We're our own worst enemy.
And it's really not something that was even spoken about a generation ago. Had work. What does that mean? It didn't even, like, our whole vocabulary has changed. We know what that means.
Yeah,
Had work,
exactly.
touch-ups, filters, all of those things are making it harder. Whereas, our parents just aged.
Yeah.
Their only option was to color their hair or not.
Yeah, that was the big thing.
That was it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now with all the filters and things on social media, like I try not to use the filters on, like, because I do Instagram things as well.
Right.
And one thing I noticed is, like, if there's one filter I do use, I don't know what it's the purple one when it just kind of does a little blur on the wrinkles. So I'm like, okay, I'll allow myself to use that one, but I've used a filter before other than that one. And then I've looked in the mirror and been like, oh,
I know it's jarring. I need a filter. Exactly. I will adjust the lighting.
Yes.
The most I've done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if I do a video and I see that it looks kind of dark, I'll add a little brightness, which does soften things a bit.
Yeah.
But I try not to do too much. I mean, we're not making it easy on ourselves.
No.
Like I said, I'm doing my best as well, but yeah, we all want to look younger, but I guess you have to decide what your line is. I'm always about, what's the word?
Moderation.
I lose my words so much these days. I got to do a video on that. Moderation. I do drink more in the summer because I'm more social, but I don't worry about it because I know it all evens out. I do eat more ice cream in the summer, but I really feel like if I still just keep exercising, and don't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have too much to deal with in the fall.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It seems to be working for you. And, like, I'm of the mind of all or something rather than all or nothing.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And one thing that Dr. Bernhardt in that podcast about aging talked about that I really liked and I'm trying to embrace every time I look in the mirror is, she said, we've been young. We don't need to look young anymore. And it's true. I try to not, like, be too sad when I see the wrinkles or the smile lines or the crow's feet, because these are earned. Exactly. This is a lifetime of experience.
Right. And I guess we're lucky to be here, and if we're healthy and, can go out in public without people running from us screaming, we're doing okay.
Well, and
I think we're all going to fight it as much as we can with hair color or makeup or whatever it takes. I'm probably going to. I don't know if there will ever come a day where I'll just go, I don't care. I think. But I still want to basically look my age. Like, I look at famous people like Helen Mirren. She looks fantastic. She hasn't had work done, but she looks like an attractive woman of her age who still dresses well, and Jamie Lee Curtis, and but they look their age, but they look vibrant.
Yeah, and I think there's something, the two schools of thought of, like, you can try, and you can try too hard. Like, you shouldn't just, like, go lay on the couch and never comb your hair or work out or do anything for self-care. Self-care, there, like you said, there is that line. Where are you going to, maybe is self-care going to be beyond coloring your hair? Because some people don't even cross that line, and I'm not there yet.
Right, me either.
So, and everybody has to choose their own line.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be less judgmental of myself and of other women too, because I think that we are terrible to each other with bringing other women down when we should be lifting them up.
Right. We will look and say, if she had a little of this and
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's okay if that makes you feel good and it's healthy for you, then that's okay too. So other than like appearance, how do you come up with some of the humor related to life's little annoyances? Is it kind of from the conversations you have with family and girlfriends of like, oh, we're all complaining about the shoes at the front of the door, that kind of thing?
Yeah, the home decor stuff, honestly, I'm just inspired by little daily things, just being left. And or sometimes I'll exaggerate a bit. Um, but those are pretty easy. The other stuff does come from conversations. For example, just going out for dinner with friends in our 60s. It's
Yeah.
always too loud now and we
Yeah.
can't see
And
the
it's like,
menu. And we were the ones who were up till 2 a.m. in university and we didn't care about that stuff. So I might do a little skit about that, or the hairdresser, or the esthetician who, mildly passive aggressively insults you through the whole thing and you pay her a big tip. I mean, these things happen to all of us. So I'm exaggerating them,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
things that, yeah, or when you're in a restaurant and, the waiter or waitress comes over every time your mouth is full and, you know,
yeah, yeah.
just
You
the
just,
little annoyances of life.
yeah. Do you take notes or is it just in your head?
I don't write a script usually. I get a lot of my ideas when I walk. I walk every day for about an hour by myself, and that's really good thinking time. And I find I come up with ideas or um, sort of cement an idea. Something might be swirling in my head, but I don't know what
Yeah,
to do with it. And often when I'm out walking, it comes together. It's really
yeah,
strange. And then I will record voice notes to myself of what's in my head,
yeah,
just points or short sentences. And then sometimes I'll have to let it sit for a while. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And then I have a running list of ideas.
yeah,
And then as I make the video, I check it off. But I don't have a script while I'm doing it. I just
yeah,
will do retakes. And sometimes they
yeah,
take forever. Sometimes something so simple that I'm just going to think, oh, I'll rush through this in 10 minutes and get on with my day.
yeah,
And I just keep saying the wrong word or my light will die or whatever.
yeah.
And then others that I think are going to take long, I can just
Just
whip them
go.
together. And it's the
Yeah.
same with putting them out there. I'll spend a couple of hours on one editing and think, oh, this is going to go
And
crazy. Well, it's never like thumbs down, but it's not as great as I think.
yeah,
And then one that I just throw up. I
without
never,
much editing or effort, blows
yeah.
up.
One of them was I do the grocery shopping and my inferior designer will help me put them away. And when we buy our fruit here, I don't know if it's the same there, in little plastic bags at the grocery store, and they all have the stickers
Yeah,
on them. That drives me bananas too, by the way, trying to get those stickers off.
yeah.
But he will just put the plastic bag with the fruit in the fruit
In the
bowl.
fruit bowl.
So I would take them out of the fruit bowl, wash them, take all the stickers off. So I did just a really innocent one, and I just showed how he helped and clawed a hole in the
In the
bag to
bag.
reach them out. And that one got a huge response. So I'm assuming that happens
Everybody,
in
all
many
the interior
homes.
designers do that.
Yes, that's his idea of putting the fruit in the fruit bowl.
Yeah,
Or the butter or the crumbs. It's little things that I
yeah,
think, oh, I don't think people are going to respond to this. And it just gets shared and
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. And if you've been in a long-term relationship, it is those things. That is not the thing that breaks the camel's back, but you're helping people find the humor in it so that they don't want to feel like smacking their spouse or their right, because it's
Yeah.
just, it's not the big things like, your inferior designer's coming home and he's a faithful husband and like all the good things, but
Exactly.
and so
And
many
I
people are like that.
think that's the case. That's a really good point. I didn't want it to be husband bashing because, I
No.
love my husband. He's a very good man. But I do think it is the little things. And I am so thrilled that people have, I love the comment section. I think
Yeah.
they're so funny.
Yeah.
And it's just like a little self-help group. People are commenting on other people's comments. And so many people have said, thank you so much for helping me to look at this differently. And it was not my intention, because when I was in the throes of it, raising teenage boys, and
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, isn't this pretty? I was more like, oh, put your things away,
Yeah.
So only
Yeah.
the gift of age, perspective, and all of that
Yeah.
has made me look at it. So it is hard to laugh at it when you're in it. I
In the thick of
understand that.
it.
I think most people would agree. But if I could help somebody be lighthearted about it, I'm thrilled.
Yeah. Isn't that nice to know that you get to do something that is brings joy to you, but is helping somebody out there that is maybe having a dark day, and then they see a silly video about the fruit bag in the fruit bowl, and it makes them laugh and it lifts them up.
It
That's
blows my mind. And I do get private messages saying, thank you. I was having the worst day. And it is the best byproduct of all of this. It really wasn't my
yeah.
intention. I didn't imagine that. I just thought, well,
I'm
it's
having
kind of,
fun.
I'm just having fun. But to have reached such a huge audience and to actually have people say they look forward to my videos and it made their day, it thrills me. And
Yeah.
I do believe that we all, it's not big things, which is what I said earlier. There are wonderful people out there who are, building homes in impoverished countries and making a huge difference. But I don't, and if that's what you want to do, you should. But I do believe that little things can make a big difference.
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled that what I love to do is seemingly making a difference to some people. It's
Yeah.
thrilling.
I think that's a really important message, and especially as we age. I'm 62, you're
Oh,
60.
wow.
A
Yep.
lot of a lot of people have a dwindling sense of purpose and think, well, I just can't do much.
Yeah.
And that is so wrong.
It is wrong. And it's almost it's the image of what people in our 60s used to be, I think.
Right.
Not to generalize, but I remember looking at my parents when they were 60 and thinking, wow, it's pretty
Oh.
much over for them. I think we are, as 60-year-olds, are doing more. I mean, look at you, you're doing a
Yeah.
podcast. That's so cool. But the purpose thing, yes, I think that's the key. It is doing what you love and brings you meaning and joy. And I think that adds to healthy aging.
Yeah. In a big way. And
And
it doesn't have to be you have a huge audience, but if your audience is just your neighbor that you're helping shovel their walk, or like it is the little things, and you help one person and
exactly. And I think community is huge too as we
mhm,
age. When our kids are younger, we have built in community with the teachers at their school and the hockey moms, for
yeah,
me anyway. And so we do need girlfriends as we age. And this Instagram community is a community, even though I don't know them. I mean, look, you and I
yeah,
are meeting because of it.
yeah,
And so it's not in real time, but it still can fill a void in
yeah.
our busy lives.
There's so much negative talk about how social media can be damaging. This is the flip side of building a community, meeting people like yourself. And lots of our guests are people that we've just met virtually, and like I just feel like such a strong connection, like, oh, Colleen, she's my friend now.
I,
and
I know what you mean. And who
and
would have thought?
yeah, and all the people that are commenting, and I'm sure you have return guests commenting, that you feel like you've built this little community. And as we get older, it's not that your friends fall away because you've had fallouts with friends, but everyone has busy life, like when you're raising kids in your career, and you just have less people around.
It's true. It's harder to connect as I said, when you were raising kids, you knew you'd see your friends at the hockey
Yeah.
game or at
Yeah.
parent-teacher interviews. It was just social.
It was
And then
built in. It was
it's
built
built
in.
in. You knew you were going to see them. When you get older, you have to work a little harder at it. You have to join things together. And so I feel really lucky that I have my real life friends that I can go for a glass of wine with, and I've got my online community. I mean, if you had told me this 20, 30 years ago, I never would have imagined it.
No.
Do you know what I
No.
mean? It's amazing.
Yeah.
My dad is 89 and he's very social and active. And a month or so ago, I got an invitation to be on a morning news show in Australia. And it was unbelievable. And so the host follows me and likes my videos, and it was her birthday on that particular day, and they asked if I would do a little interview. It was such a thrill, and my dad has shown that to everybody. I mean, at his age, he cannot believe what
Yes.
the internet is capable of. He's like,
Yeah.
they're on the other side of the world. And
Yeah.
she saw your videos. How did that happen? I have no idea, but
Yeah.
it's incredible how it makes the world feel smaller.
Yeah. And it does bring us together. So in a world that can be so polarizing and divisive,
Right.
having something and humor and someone like you delivering it in a positive, kind of self-deprecating, it's just such a fun way that you do this. It's so appreciated.
Oh, thank you. I love doing it. And you're right, there is a lot of negativity around social media. And I think it would be hard to raise kids now and
Mhm.
keep them off of all the negative stuff.
Yeah.
But I think at our age and point in life, stage in life, we can just have fun with it. We don't have to worry about going down the rabbit hole and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well, I do feel like even we can go down that rabbit hole. We have to be discerning. It's kind of like the garbage in, garbage out. Like if you keep filling your feed with really curated posts, and you can I have some clients and people that reach out to me that just really feel less than about themselves because they're comparing themselves to this photoshopped image of that's not real. So we have to be careful still.
That is true, even at our age. I mean, as a teenager without a fully formed executive functioning brain, I can't imagine
How difficult.
how those curated and perfect images of everybody out doing things makes
Yeah.
them feel. But you're
Yeah.
right, even at our age,
And we know better.
and we know better. We have the common sense, but you're right. I find myself doing it as well. And I try to make fun of those things a little bit too.
You do.
I
Like the
do.
bathing suit.
The bathing suit, even the FaceTime birthday things, I'm not kidding. Those have unraveled me over the years. I'm exaggerating in my post, but
Yeah.
it's almost like you feel like you're not a good mother if you don't do this tribute and tell the world how much you love them, and you have a musical montage. And
Yes.
I have spent hours should I put a baby picture? Would they hate that? And I
Yeah.
now know that I don't think they want it. I reach out, we phone them, we tell them we
Yeah.
love them, we give them a birthday gift. But honestly, during their birthday, I'm just like, ugh, have I missed the mark? And then there's Sun's Day, National Sun's Day, which I didn't even know existed. So I did a video about that a while ago, pretending to call my boys and say, I'm a monster. I can't
Yeah.
believe I missed National Sun's Day. But these things keep us comparing, and
Yeah.
we feel we have to say, thank you for choosing me to be your mother. And everybody knows we love our children, but some of these tributes
Yeah.
really make you feel like, ugh,
Less than.
I should have done more. I should have,
Yeah.
or
And
people traveling, you see all these pictures and you
yeah, it's
think,
like,
wow,
wow, I
how
went
did
to
they
the
do
grocery
that?
store.
I know. So I try to make light of all of that because I think we all look at that, even though we're fully formed adults with
Yeah.
logical ish brains at this point, we can still get trapped. And that's why I think raising kids would be hard. And
Yeah.
that's why I try to poke fun at it a little bit to show how ridiculous it can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I think you
Nobody's
do a
living
really
that.
good job of we can all tell that you're poking fun, and because you do it so tastefully.
Oh, thank you. And they all have such great senses of humor. And, I've shown them my writing before. It's always slice of life, family stuff, and they think it's good.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I think that's another motivation for doing what I did. I don't think anybody is living those perfect highlight reels, and people are only posting the good stuff, which
Yeah.
we don't all have just the good stuff. So I wanted to post,
Yeah.
look what my husband left for me today. Isn't this
Yeah.
lovely? And look how I look when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah. With your
So
life
I
jacket.
just think, yeah, I mean it. And I think we can still be happy and have fun and not have those perfectly curated
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. Brings a
You
little bit
know?
of reality to social media, much needed reality.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I can help in some small way.
Yeah. If you had a wish for our listeners, what would it be?
Probably to not pay attention to that stuff as much and to go for it. It's never too late. If there is some little yearning in you, just take baby steps and try it.
Yeah, I really love how you're leaning into things that are a little uncomfortable. And I would agree with you. My one wish is that we find the humor in things. And if we can't, go look at Colleen's Instagram
Aw,
and you'll
thank
find
you.
lots of humor. But really to not give up and lean into something that's a little bit uncomfortable, because on the other side, there's all kinds of goodness.
Well, that's a good wish. I think at this point we deserve to try what we like
It's about
and
time.
make it about ourselves.
Thanks for listening. You'll find me, Allie, on Instagram at Allie Curve Fitness.
And you'll find me, Shauna, on Instagram at Shauna Kaminsky. Feel free to pop us a DM with questions and or feedback. If you're enjoying the Girls Talk Healthy Aging podcast, please subscribe and share it with other health-minded women. Ratings and reviews are also much appreciated and help us get our message out to a larger audience.
Until next time, be healthy and be happy.